Can you really buy $1 million house or even a $4 million house using a VA loan? I'm going to give you the straight answer because there's a lot of bad information out there. Some people will tell you that VA loans are simply for starter homes, or they'll tell you that you can buy anything with $0 down. The truth lies somewhere in the middle, and if you get this wrong, it could cost you thousands and a ton of your time. So let's go ahead and let's break it down. Before we get into section number 1, my name is Charles Beaton with Beaton Brothers Property Experts. We've got a hand-dipped candle that we have made in Breckenridge, Colorado. It's pretty cool in the dark. The logo lights up. Love it. So we got that there. And then here you'll see our gift bags for our client gifts on the day of closing. Something really cool is inside. You'll have to buy a house or sell a house to find out. First off, section number 1, what is a jumbo loan? What is a VA jumbo loan? What does that even mean? Technically, the VA loan doesn't have a hard limit anymore. They changed that in 2020. But in the real world, all lenders are still going to use conforming loan limit guidelines. Anything above the conforming loan limit is going to be considered a jumbo loan. So right now in most areas, that's about $836,000, or high cost areas like California, DC, New York, parts in certain states, for example, Highland Ranch in Texas, or Aspen, Vail, Breckenridge here in Colorado, that is about $1.25 million. And this is all where the jumbo territory begins. A jumbo loan typically is over that conforming loan limit, so lender is most likely going to give you a higher rate, have more reserves. The higher the cost is, there may even be a down payment involved with the VA jumbo loan. Now let's move into section number 2. Let's talk about what you can buy and what that looks like using your VA jumbo loan. Can you buy a $1 million, a $2 million, or even a $4 million house using a VA jumbo loan? Short answer, yes. But let's break this down. $1 million is totally doable. I've seen it before. I've done it before. I've actually gone up to $1.3 million before. Many lenders will still offer 0% down, very competitive rates. And this is very common in our market right here in Colorado Springs. Now, if we bump that up to $2 million, now we're getting into a little bit more strict underwriting with most lenders. Higher reserve requirements. Some lenders might start requiring a small down payment on a VA loan. Still doable, but few lenders are going to play ball in this price point. What about a $4 million home? Yes. Now we're in a rare territory. We don't see that a whole lot. You're going to have very few lenders that are going to do this on VA loans. You're still going to need significant reserves, strong income, and a potential down payment. Is it possible? Yes. Easy? Not really. And this is why, guys. It's real simple. If you're buying a $4 million house or a $10 million house or whatever it may be, odds are you're not using a VA loan at all. Why would you? In that price point, most income doesn't matter. They're just going to be paying cash, or they're going to make such a large down payment that they're not going to have an issue doing a VA loan. It's just rare. We don't see it at all. Here in Colorado Springs, we have one of the most dense military populations in the entire world. So we see VA loans all the time. They're on about half the homes here in Colorado Springs. But if you go down the road to places like Vail, Aspen, Breckenridge, you don't see a whole lot of properties with VA loans on them for many reasons. Number one being the price points are so high that most people that have eligibility for a VA loan are not buying those homes, or a smaller sample, I should say. Now, section number 3, this is one of the biggest catches here, and we're going to talk about entitlement. This is where people mess up, because if you don't have entitlement, the loan limit doesn't matter. You have to have entitlement. And if you have full entitlement, you can technically go above that conforming loan limit with no down payment required. But if you've used your VA loan before and you have not restored your entitlement, now you're going to be limited to the conforming loan limit. What I mean by this is if you own 2 or more properties with VA loan entitlement tied up, you're limited to that $836,000. Now you can own, in the most technical sense, 8 $100,000 homes, or you can own one $10 million house. For example, we already talked about the 8 homes that are $100,000, and then maybe that 9th home is $36,000. But let's say that you buy a house here in Colorado Springs for $400,000, and then you go to buy another house that's $436,000. you can absolutely buy that second house for $436,000 with the caveat you've lived in the other home for a year, or you're just moving and you decide to keep your other home and you want to use your VA loan for another home. Yes, you are maxed out on your entitlement. Now, in those two scenarios, you sell both of those homes, you can go ahead and restore all of your VA entitlement. You can go down the road and you can buy a $10 million house. Now let's talk about something that most people don't mention. It's a VA hybrid loan. Now, if you're going above and beyond your entitlement, there is a product out there called a VA hybrid loan. So let's say that you bought a house here in Colorado Springs in 2015 and you bought it for $500,000. Now, the VA loan conforming limit has gone up significantly since then. So now we're at about $836,000. I think it's $832.50, but we'll call it $836 for round numbers, right? So now you have, in the most technical sense, $336,000 left over. Let's say you buy a second home, and mind you, your VA entitlement is still on your first property that you bought for $500,000. Now you're buying a second house for, let's say, another, $436,000, but you only have $336,000 of, you would have to put 25% down on anything above and beyond your remaining VA entitlement. In this scenario, you have $336,000 of VA entitlement left over. You're spending $436,000 on your new home. That is $100,000 over your VA entitlement, which will require a 25% down payment. That would be $25,000. In these scenarios, we see people kind of shift over towards FHA or towards conventional, because 25% down on $100,000 is more than buying a $400,000 house with a 5% down payment, or FHA's 3.5% down payment. So you kind of have to do your checks and balances, see what works best for you in that specific scenario. Section number 4, jumbo loans. Do they have higher rates? And the answer is yes, slightly, but not always. I can tell you I have had clients buy a house using their VA loan, 100% financing on a $1.3 million house, and they got a pretty competitive rate. The rates were at about 5.15 and they got a 5.25. So it's not drastic, but yes, it's going to be slightly elevated. And when you do this, not only will you have a slightly elevated rate, but you're going to have a little bit more conservative underwriting. When a lender is providing a loan of that amount or even larger, they're going to dig into the details a little bit more. Your residual income is going to have to be much higher. And I'm not a lender, full disclosure. So get with your local VA lender. There's plenty of them out there. We have a guy that we use right now who's licensed in all 50 states. So let us know. We can link you up with them. This is free advice, guys. But get with your local lender, because I'm not a lender. I am a real estate broker. I almost feel like a lender sometimes because it is most of our conversation. Now, a lot of people will ask, why not just use a conventional loan? Why mess with this VA jumbo loan? Well, I can tell you, for the same reasons why you use a VA loan in the first place. Your rates are going to be a little bit better. You're going to have no PMI, which is your primary mortgage insurance, which saves you a couple $100 a month. More flexible guidelines in the way of seller concessions. VA loans, you're allowed to receive up to 4% in seller concessions. Meaning if you buy a $500,000 house, you can quite literally get $20,000 in seller concessions from the sellers at the time of closing. Now with a conventional, it's only 3%. So now you're only looking at $15,000 opposed to $20,000. So that's why the VA jumbo loan is so much more powerful than any other financing out there still, even though it's going to be a little different than your conforming loan limit or less VA loan opposed to your jumbo VA loan conforming loan limit and higher. Section number 5. This is going to be the real world problems that we see every day when we run in as an agent working with military members. And this is where deals sometimes fall apart, which doesn't happen often. Your lender that you're using doesn't specialize in VA loans, which is not going to be the case with us. We go down this road all the time with our current lender. So make sure that if you're going to spend above $830,000, check with your lender and make sure that they do VA jumbo loans. Number 2, buyer assumes zero down payment at any price, which if you're going to buy a $2 million house, I think you might have a little bit of a down payment. It may not be much. It may be 5%. It may be 6%, maybe 10%. It may vary by the lender. Even though you have access to the VA loan, your current income doesn't suffice or it doesn't support the loan at this higher price. Appraisal issues on high-end homes. I'm going to hit this real quick because if you're going to buy a new build that's going to be $1.3 or $1.5 million, that lender might require a pre-appraisal, meaning they're going to look at the lot. They're going to look at the size of the lot. They're going to look at the location. They're going to look at the school district. They're going to look at everything that you plan to put into that home, your square footage, your bedrooms, your bathrooms, your finished square feet, your non-finished square feet, your garages and how many you have, etc. They're going to dig into all those details and say, okay, hypothetically, if you do all of these things, your home will appraise. And then they will have a second appraisal. And this is only the second scenario I've ever seen in my real estate career where there's two appraisals for one transaction, the other one being a short sale, liquidation appraisal, buyer appraisal, which I hit in my other video. And the problem is sometimes sellers just don't understand VA loans and they get nervous. They're not being coached or informed by their listing agent what this all entails. You need a lender that knows what they're doing. And here's the myth that I would like to bust, and I love that show. VA loans are not only for cheap homes. You can use VA loans for any types of homes and any price points. It is completely false to assume that you can only use a VA loan on a starter home or lower priced homes. I've seen it. It's completely false. We see $800,000, $900,000 VA loans all day in our marketplace. Not an issue at all. $1 million plus, regularly, maybe. $2 million, not so much, and it only goes down from there. The VA loan is one of the most powerful wealth building tools that veterans and alike have access to. And now if you're not a veteran and you can assume a VA loan, that's something that we need to talk about. And that's something that you need to get on as well if that veteran is willing to give up their entitlement. But I say again, the VA loan, when it comes to military buyers, is one of the largest and best wealth building tools. And if you don't use this and you're a service member, you're just sitting on free money. That's all you're doing. And if you want to get that generational wealth and you want to start building real wealth, you need to talk to us. You got to use your VA loan, which leads me to the last part of this video. If you are thinking about using your VA loan, it doesn't matter. Anywhere in the country, you can use it. Call us, give me a ring, shoot us a DM, comment on this video, like and subscribe, preferably. That would be amazing. But get a hold of us. We have a large online presence. And especially if you're going to use them at higher price points, you need a strategy, you need a great lender, and you need a great realtor partner to help you do this. I've said this in other videos, not everybody is created equally and not all lenders are built the same. And not all deals are structured correctly. And if you've got questions about a situation that you plan to get in or a situation that you're already in, let us know. We're here to help. And if you're moving to Colorado Springs or anywhere in the state of Colorado for that matter, please reach out to us. We would love to help. We are a veteran-based team. I am a veteran myself. This is what we do all day for a living. Make sure to subscribe. Thank you for watching. I appreciate we put videos out like this every single week, rain or shine. Whether I'm in Colorado or not, we are putting these videos out for you. At the end of the day, guys, I break this stuff down so it's not an expensive mistake for you.